This happened many years ago. I want you to understand something before I begin. I am a structural engineer, a man of science, of measurable things, concrete, steel, numbers that don't lie. What happened on that island has no number. At the time, I was completing my graduate thesis, studying how the ocean slowly consumes concrete, eats it, breaks it apart. The research led me to an academic conference in Nagasaki, Japan, and that conference led me somewhere I was never supposed to go. A professor I had been corresponding with, Dr. Yamamoto, arranged something remarkable. A research permit to access Hashima Island. You may not know this place by name, but if you have ever seen photographs of a city swallowed by silence, buildings standing like hollow bones, windows dark as closed eyes, you've seen Hashima. It is a small island off the coast of Nagasaki, covered entirely in crumbling concrete apartment blocks. It was once one of the most densely populated places on Earth, a coal mining colony full of thousands of workers and their families. Then, one day, they left, abandoned, in the 1970s. Today, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Tourists may visit, but only along designated paths, roped off, supervised. Entering the buildings is forbidden. Except I wasn't a tourist. I signed waivers acknowledging the danger, the physical danger, the structural danger. No one warned me about anything else. The morning of my visit, I boarded a small research vessel. My escort was a man named Teishi, quiet, professional, careful with his words. From the water, the island looked small, almost harmless. But as we drew closer, its scale became something else entirely. Those towers, those hollow towers rising from the sea, it felt like approaching a monument that the world had tried to forget. We had strict rules: stay on designated paths, avoid red-taped areas, remove nothing, and always remain within visual range of each other. The first few hours were remarkable, scientifically extraordinary, everything I had hoped for. And then, I noticed something. On the 4th floor of a residential block, the dust on the floor was disturbed. Not randomly, not from wind or settling debris. There was a path, a clear, deliberate path through the dust, as though someone had been walking that same route, regularly. It led me to a room. Inside, the air was different. There was a smell I could not identify, not decay, something else, something I still cannot name. And one wall was warm. Warmer than anything else on that island should have been. When I told Teishi, he looked at the wall. Then he looked at me. "No humans live here," he said quietly. "No animals either." He moved on. I followed, but I couldn't stop thinking about that warmth. It was in the next building that I found them. Blankets. Folded. Not abandoned, folded. Empty water bottles arranged near a corner. Someone had been living there. Not years ago, recently. Turned to call for Teishi. He was gone. I looked back the way we had come. The stairwell was blocked. Rubble. I don't know if it had always been there or if it had shifted. I don't know. I still don't know. And then I heard footsteps. Not one set. Multiple. Moving toward me through the dark. I ran through corridors, through rooms stripped of everything except shadow and silence and that sound, those footsteps behind me. I found another stairwell. I got out. Teishi was waiting at the dock, calm, hands folded, as though nothing had happened. I told him what I found, what I heard. He denied everything. Every single thing. Back home, I tried to report it through official channels. I reached out to Dr. Yamamoto. Dr. Yamamoto had disappeared. No forwarding address, no response. His university profile, gone. No one ever followed up. No one ever called. To this day, I do not know who was living on Hashima Island. I do not know how they got there. I do not know how long they had been there. I do not know if they are still there now. But someone was.
This happened last year. I was 22 years old, burnt out, running on empty, going through one of those stretches where everything in life felt like it was happening to someone else. I had a past, let's just leave it at that. And by that point, I was trying very hard to put distance between myself and certain chapters of my life. What I needed, more than anything, was to disappear. A coworker told me about a tiny island off the coast of Maine. No nightlife, barely any tourists after dark. Most people took the ferry out for the day and left before sunset. He said if you stayed overnight, it was like having the whole island to yourself. That was exactly what I wanted. I found a rental, a standalone cottage right on the shoreline. The price was suspiciously cheap, available on short notice. I probably should have raised some red flags, but I wasn't in a cautious headspace, so I booked it. The cottage was small, one room, a bed, an unused kitchenette, a bathroom barely bigger than a closet. It sat back from the water, surrounded on three sides by thick brush, pressed right up against the walls. The front faced the ocean. There was one thin curtain on the window, semi-translucent, the kind that doesn't really black the view in either direction. The walls were paper thin. I could hear the wind moving through the brush like it was right next to my ear. The door had a deadbolt and a chain lock that looked recently installed. That struck me as odd for such an isolated place, but I didn't dwell on it. I spent the evening walking the island. It was surreal, watching it empty out, day visitors returning to the mainland one by one. By sunset, almost no one was left. No streetlights, no ambient noise, nothing. Just the ocean. I grabbed dinner at a small pub near the ferry landing. The bartender was friendly, but she gave me a strange look when I told her where I was staying. On the walk back, I passed a small dock tucked into a cave about 100 yards from the cottage. There was a single blue motorboat moored there. It stood out. Every other boat I'd seen on that island was a large lobster vessel. I made a mental note of it and continued back. Around 10:30, I locked the deadbolt, the chain, and went to bed. That's when things changed. My phone wouldn't charge. I tried every outlet, nothing. The battery was low. I knew it would die within the hour. Still, I was exhausted. I fell asleep within minutes. Then, I woke up. I don't know what pulled me out of sleep, but once I was awake, I heard it. Footsteps on the gravel outside the cottage. They were close, right in front of the door, and whoever was out there was taking their time, a long pause between each step. It didn't sound like an animal. I shifted slightly in bed. The footsteps stopped. The silence that followed felt wrong. Then, the footsteps came back. This time, there was no mistaking it. They weren't passing by. They were approaching. The steps came right up to the entrance and stopped, directly in front of the door. My heart was pounding so hard, I thought they could hear it. Then, a flashlight beam flickered through the front window. I froze. The light clicked off. The handle rattled. I shut my eyes and prayed the locks would hold. They did. For a moment, I thought that would be enough. It wasn't. The handle shook again, harder this time. Then came several heavy bangs against the door. The sound echoed through the tiny cottage. I jumped out of bed and crouched behind the door while the banging continued. Then, silence. And then, I heard it. A man's voice. "I know you're in there, Leo." My blood ran cold. He knew my name. I didn't recognize the voice, but he knew my name. The footsteps moved away from the door, circling the cottage. For the next stretch of time, maybe 20 minutes, maybe an hour, he walked around it. Then, from the direction of the dock, I heard an engine start, a small outboard motor. It faded into the distance, across open water. I didn't sleep again that night. As soon as it was light enough to see, I stepped outside. Heavy boot prints circling the cottage multiple times, leading in a straight line towards the dock and ending at the water. Whoever was outside didn't come from the island. They came by boat, specifically to that cottage on that specific night. And somehow, they knew exactly where I'd be. I still don't know how. Nothing in my life has changed since then, and I have no reason to believe it's over.
This is not a ghost story. I want you to understand that before I tell you what happened, because I don't believe in ghosts. I never have. It was 10 years ago, my final semester of college. I was writing my thesis on abandoned places, hospitals, asylums, institutions where the forgotten were sent and never spoken of again. One location kept pulling me back: North Brother Island. A small, overgrown island sitting in the middle of New York City's East River, hidden in plain sight. It once housed a quarantine hospital, a place where the sick were isolated from the world, forgotten, left to decay. Access was illegal without a permit, which is exactly why we went at night. 2:30 in the morning, me, Jansen, and Jesse, kayaks in the water, launching from the Bronx. The East River was dark. The city lights felt far away, and then the island appeared, completely silent, like it was waiting. Quieter now, we pulled ourselves ashore and moved through the buildings, crumbling walls, broken windows, the kind of silence that doesn't feel empty, it feels full, like something is holding its breath. That's when I wandered too far ahead, and I heard it. My name, in Jesse's voice from down the hall. But Jesse shouldn't have been there. Before I could think, Jansen's voice from somewhere to my left. In here. I stepped into the room, dark, cold, and in the corner, a figure, tall, at least 6.5 feet, facing the wall, not moving, not either of my friends. I don't remember deciding to run. My body just went. We found each other. We didn't speak. We dragged the kayaks back into the water as fast as we could. And then we heard it. Very slow. A moan, faint and low, like an old woman crying in pain. All three of us stopped. All three of us heard it. To this day, I do not believe in the paranormal, but I know what I heard that night. Someone was on that island with us. Someone who knew my name. Someone who could perfectly mimic the voice of my friend. And whatever it was, it wanted me to walk into that room alone. I still don't know why.
Some places in this world are not meant to be visited alone. I know that now. I didn't know it then. My name doesn't matter. What matters is this. I've been a freelance land surveyor for 15 years. Solo work, remote locations, days at a time in places where no one else goes. I preferred it that way. Or at least I used to. 4 years ago, I took a job surveying boundary markers on a parcel deep in the mountains, the Clearwater region, Idaho. Remote doesn't even begin to describe it. 6 miles of hiking just to reach my campsite. I filed my route with the ranger station, packed a week of supplies. The first day went smoothly. 3 markers found, back at camp before dark. The forecast said cold weather, light snow. That's exactly what I got on day 1. By the second day, things started to change. The snow came heavier than expected. The next marker was only a mile out, just 1 more mile. So I told myself, what the hell? Beat. That was a mistake. I still think about how stupid it was not to just turn around when I had the chance. The terrain under fresh snow was treacherous, hidden rocks, icy slopes. I was making my way down a short embankment when my boot caught a patch of ice I never saw. 15 feet. I slid 15 feet before a tree root stopped me. When I tried to stand, I knew immediately. My ankle. It wasn't broken, but it was bad enough. I abandoned the job right there. No survey marker is worth your life. I knew that much. I started making my way back toward camp, slow, limping, frustrated. That's when I noticed them. Boot prints. Fresh ones. Sharp edges in the snow, the kind that only last minutes before the falling snow fills them in. They were heading in the same direction as me. I told myself it was a hunter, maybe someone from the landowner's crew. I told myself not to worry. I was wrong. As the light faded, I heard something behind me. At first, just the forest, wind, branches. But the more I listened, the more it sounded like footsteps. I stopped walking. The sound stopped too. Not immediately. After a short delay, I stood completely still, listening. Only wind, only snow. So I started walking again, and a few minutes later, the footsteps came back. I turned around. Nothing. Just trees, and the sickening realization that whatever was out there, I couldn't run from it. Then I heard something metallic, a low sound, to my left, like something gently striking a fence post, but there was nothing out there.
No structures, no equipment, nothing but trees. I looked down at the trail. The boot prints were gone. I turned around, searching, and that's when I saw it. A second set of boot prints emerging from the tree line on my left, running parallel to mine. Close, very close. Whoever had been walking ahead of me was now walking alongside me, hidden in the trees, watching me. I called out. I don't know why, I just did. No response. 20 seconds of silence. Then I made a decision. Move. I couldn't run. My ankle wouldn't allow it. So I walked, as fast as I could, toward camp. The footsteps stopped, but I knew someone was still out there. Then, a branch snapped behind me. Heavy, deliberate. That wasn't the wind. I didn't stop. I didn't look back. I just kept moving. I reached camp as darkness fell completely. I got inside my tent, and that's when it hit me. The tent wasn't safety. It was a trap. I was a shape in a lit room, with the whole dark forest watching. I started packing immediately, and then I heard them. Footsteps, right outside the tent. Not approaching, circling, round and round in the snow. Slow, patient, deliberate. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. After what felt like 5 minutes, silence. I couldn't wait any longer. I finished packing, took a breath, and unzipped the tent. The moment I stepped outside, I looked into the trees and screamed. There was a man standing there, old, gaunt, sickly, like something that had been wandering those woods for a very long time. He stood completely still, staring. I raised my hands. I don't want any trouble. He didn't move. We stood there in the dark, in the snow, staring at each other. Then, after what felt like forever, he spoke. "You're a lucky man." And he turned and disappeared into the trees. The rest of that night is a blur. I packed everything and walked out in the dark. I didn't care. I just walked. My ankle was severely sprained. It was a miracle I made it out at all. I reported what happened. Nothing came of it. I didn't take another winter contract for almost a year. I still do remote work. It's my livelihood. But I don't camp alone in winter anymore. I bring someone with me, or I turn the job down. Because to this day, I still don't know what that man wanted. I only know one thing. If he had wanted me dead, there was nothing I could have done. Nothing at all.